Hey guys, the last part of the tutorial we did discuss a lot of stuff. In fact, I might have forgotten to discuss about meta tags. Um, when I was beginning this tutorial, we actually were to discuss inline external styles. Um, we also uh, needed to discuss internal styles, and we did that, and we did some commenting, and we also discussed about the class attribute, and also we discussed about the ID attribute, and we brought about new tags like the unordered list, and the ordered list, right? And we even brought about some characters such as the copyright character. Um, we saw some semantic tags too. We saw about the section tag, the article tag, the aside tag, we saw about the footer tag, we discussed also about the header tag, right? Great. So the next thing we were gonna discuss is the meta tags. So the meta tags, we actually needed to discuss them on the other video since it would just be an extension of the other video, but I found out that the video will be too long. It actually is about to reach around 30 minutes, but I wouldn't want it to reach till there because you're gonna get bored, and you're gonna feel like I'm not like giving a good environment for studying. All right, let's get into it. um, the the page, by the time we're ending our tutorial, the page was supposed to look like this. So I hope your page is looking like this. um, Great. So code for coders, we the li tags and everything is here. So in this video I want to keep it short and brief, so we're going to discuss the uses of meta tags, how to incorporate meta tags, how meta tags help us in creating our websites. All right, so let's enter sorry. Okay, this is the outline of our page, right? The HTML page itself. So right before we get into meta tags, I wanted to introduce something I think you could make use when creating web pages, is a style called the display style. So this style helps us a lot when we come to this section. This li section, um, it's gonna help us a lot, all right? Right. So this list section, the display style is gonna help us a lot. In fact, when we're trying to create navigation bars, right? You realize that not most navigation bars, and not even, I don't think there's any navigation bar that aligns its contents vertically, right? Most of the navigation bars align its contents horizontally. So by using the display style, let's remove these comments, right? By using the display style, display, all right, we need remember we talked about selectors, the declaration blocks, properties, and values. So we need a selector. So a selector in this case is ulli. All right. Discussed about accessing the child from the parent by using the parent and the child as a selector. So display, which is our property, and our value, which is inline. So since I'm using a text editor, auto completion is pretty much helpful to me. Uh, and we can go and preview our page, and you're gonna see that the page is actually the contents of that list is aligned horizontally, right? And we can do this also for the ordered list. So you may ask yourself, why has the ordered list not behaved the same way as the an ordered list. So this is because we have accessed the parent tag the parent tag UL, which has a child of LI. In this case, when our web browser came to initialize the styling of our page, it ignored this LI because this LI is a child tag of an order list. So if you want to access both of them, we need to access the li tag uh, independently. This way you can refresh the page and you can see how the page looks, right? All right. So that wasn't the main thing, but I think it could help you. Let me first close this window. All right. So the li tag, discussed about it. So let's jump into the meta tags. So the meta tags are actually meta. What is meta? So according to what I understand, meta is data about data. So in this case, meta is data about our site mostly, but you can use meta tags for more than viewing data uh, in your site. So meta tags. What are meta tags used for? Um, Meta tags give the description of your page, and they can also give keywords used in your page, and they can also help you to set cookies for your page. You're gonna come to cookies, and I'm gonna discuss about cookies. They can help you do refreshing of your page based on a particular timeline based in seconds, and it can help you also set the date when your page was revised. So revised date, and it can help you also set things like the encoding format that is used by web browsers when rendering HTML pages, right? um, the default the most recommended or default way default encoding format that most web browsers use is the UTF 8 encoding format, right? And we're gonna see two ways in which you can instill that encoding format in your site through the meta tags, right? So they can also meta tags can also help you uh, to put your name as the other of the site, and so on and so forth. So these are the main things that you're gonna look at, right? We can also look at the viewport. So the viewport width basically helps you to it kinds of helps you to make your web page responsive. And also apart from the viewport, okay, the character set is in here, right? And you can also set your page compatible to browsers and other stuff, but other browsers, but we're not going to discuss about that. We'll discuss it just don't say that. We discuss it just as a by the way this tutorial. All right. So title. So meta tags are inserted. Sorry, they are inserted right in between the opening head tag and the closing head tag, right? So uh, we use the meta tag meta, and then just as we talked about, we say that all tags have attributes. The attributes have properties. So in this case, meta has unique properties, and meta cannot take a styling property since meta tag cannot contents of a meta tag cannot be seen inside a web browser. All right. Um, so meta mostly it takes first attribute is name. So we're going to discuss about the first thing we put aside. First thing we talked about um, the description. So if you want to have the description, you write the name, and then the description will be a attribute value, description, and the content, it follows the content. So your content can have like let's say initial page for uh, right. So and mostly it's advisable to have the meta tag as first tag right after your title or even before the title, right? You can let us do it right after the title tag. So let's set a title for our page, just call it page one. Um, so the description value of the name attribute is pretty much used by search engines while indexing your pages for during searches, right? Let's say I have a page, somebody is looking for my tutorial. So if he searches Collins to, if he or she searches Collins tutorials, um, search engine is going to is going to search for a website with a meta tag, the name description, and look at its content type. And its content is initial page for Collins tutorials. So it's going to index my page according to my description, right? The other thing we're going to discuss is about the meta tag whose name attribute is keywords. Keywords. Here the content is CSS 3 tutorials and HTML5 tutor sorry tutorials and um uh, beginner web developers beginner beginner web developers, right? um so the keywords help us to also for the same purpose for search engines to optimize searches. If somebody searches for HTML tutorials, HTML5 tutorials, my 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 site is going to come up and um, indexed according to the number of people who. Okay, we're going to discuss matters pertaining to optimization of a page, but it's good for you to know that once the keywords are set, it's going to help the search engine to find your site in regards to certain topics. All right. The next meta tag we're gonna look at. Okay, it's there. It's there. It comes the default. Is a meta um, chassis attribute, and chassis basically is character set attribute that has a value of UTF encoding, which is UTF encoding 8. So this is the standard way of encoding characters in a web browser. Basically, um, character sets help us to render websites in web browsers. UTF-8 supports a lot of character sets that some some of character sets are not even in the alphabetical um, alphabetic in the alphabet anyway in the alphabet. So characters like the Chinese characters and others, right? So chasset incorporates such. The next thing is a meta author. So we have the name and we have the author and content, and I'm gonna have my name. All right, and the author basically it's self-explanatory. So I'm the author of the site. So name, author, and content. Right. The next thing we can have is the name attribute, and we have the revised, right? The revised value, and then content is going to take my site. So page.com, assuming it's my domain name. So page.com, and I'm gonna have the month that I revised this page. So I'm gonna have like today's month, that month of the year, the 26th day of the month, and it's 2018, right? So the next meta type of meta tag I want us to look at is much more complicated, since we use a new attribute that we haven't come across, and is the HTTP equivalent. HTTP equivs, most of the time it's either to it's mostly used to set cookies and to also refresh your site and redirect your site to other pages once it's loaded, right? So you can do something like this. Let's say you want to refresh our site. Talk about the refresh value. So you want to refresh my site, I'll have to refresh my site after a number of seconds, right? So content is going to have the number of seconds that I want to refresh my site. So 5 seconds. So 5 seconds. So once I refresh my site after 5 seconds, once 5 seconds reaches after I've loaded my site, my web browser, around 5 seconds lapses, my site is gonna be refreshed, right? And you can view this now. Let's wait for it. Right, as you can see, it refreshes after every 5 seconds. So view where the mouse point is, it refreshes it after every 5 seconds, right? And apart from refreshing it, um, we can refresh it and it could lead us to another page. So it can redirect our site, it can redirect our viewers or our users of the site to another page after a number of seconds. So we can do this by having a semicolon and then having a value called URL, and the URL will then take my URL. So for example, so in this folder we only have in our folder learning code, HTML5. So we only have the CSS file and page. We have a page HTML document. So we can just have a new file, and then we're gonna do this very fast. So Control S, save our page. Page two, and save. Sorry. Um, we've saved it as a file, as a text file. So don't modify the changes. So page 2.htm, you can save it as .htm or .html. So htm, right? And we can do the html, and it's gonna generate everything, and page 2, and so that you can view that you can see that anything has changed. We have the h1 tag, and we're gonna have page 2, right? And it's gonna have to redirect ourselves page to page 2 dot html or dot html. You can do dot html or dot html. So after 5 seconds, it has to redirect us to page 2. So sorry, you can refresh the page dot html. Open in browser, right? Page 2. So after 5 seconds, it has to refresh and send us to a URL, right? Page 2. So it has refreshed after 5 seconds and had us go to page 2. So once we do that again, it's gonna have to refresh and take us back to page 2. All right, great. So apart from using the meta tag to do that, we can set cookies for our site. So cookies are mostly used by web servers to get information about a web client. So in the in the in the web environment, we have the concept of the server client relationship. So once the server wants to know if a particular user ID or particular information has changed within the web client, it has to store cookies and retrieve the cookies from it containing the new information, right? So the HTTP equiv, so you can have like cookie, and you can have content. So here you can store the user ID, or you can store the phone number, or you can store anything that you want to store in it that you're going to retrieve later on. You can use this meta tag also to have the viewport of your site for make a site maybe responsive view. Sorry, have the name tag. So the name holds a viewport, and after the viewport, you have a long line of value. The longest value that I think should follow itself the particular syntax. So you have the width is equals to the device length, and then after that you have the initial scale, the initial scale is 1.0. So you can do that, and that's going to optimize your page, right? Let's try and view a page, and let's remove the. So you can view if the viewport value, the name attribute, has helped us in any way in terms of making our site responsive. So I've removed the refresh meta tag. So this is gonna direct us back to our page, and it's not gonna refresh again. And we can now view if it has actually helped us. Right, it has actually helped us in terms of making our site responsive. So this is gonna the viewport meta tag is not gonna help make your site fully responsive, because you're gonna have situations where the navigation bar looks weird or something like that. So you'll require either media queries, or you will require the bootstrap framework, right? So um actually great. So this we've done the viewport, the coding format, the revised date, the refreshing cookies, keywords, and description. So we've done everything concerning to meta tags, but I'm not sure the other way to have your encoding format change. So we can remove this asset, and in its place you're gonna have a new tag, but it's rather a long one. Meta http quiv, and it's gonna take the value content, and then type. And after taking content type, we're gonna take another attribute called the content attribute. And after the content attribute, we're gonna take the text, because it's a type of text HTML document, and then take a semicolon. And after that, we're gonna have the asset value, and have UTF 8 value in it. Great. Sorry for the disturbance. Actually, um, there are so many people there making noise, and just ignore it. It's not okay. It does make this tutorial a bit harder to learn, but bear with me. Um, right, guys. Um, actually, that's everything I wanted to show you for this tutorial. So make sure to subscribe for more videos, and thanks for being here for this tutorial and learning, and I hope you have a great time. And I'm gonna add another tutorial, hopefully discussing about newer tags, and more a more great way to view, to have pages and linking pages, and having a great time with HTML5 and CSS3. So thanks guys, let's meet in the next tutorial.